Hey fellas, just wanted to show you today's setup. Old Rusty's gonna be shooting here. We just got an old, I think these were kilns, like ovens for making bricks or pottery. And Rusty's out here with the dog and decided to bring a childhood toy, and that's my Crossman. Probably haven't ever shot that. Just in case she trees a squirrel, maybe I'll help her. And if you can see what we're doing here, you've heard me talk about my bipod. I lost this leg and I found a stick today. Hopefully we're going to be able to balance it. We're going to get into shooting. Okay, we'll go ahead and get the knife review started. This is my third Asher Spiro knife review. It gives you an idea that I sort of like the knife. I did buy this one new off the Asher website I mentioned in my last video, where I made an offer to a guy for a thumb stud version of this, and 90 bucks, and then lo and behold, this came. Well, actually I offered the guy 80 and he did take it. This guy came out for like 89 with shipping, and it's a thumb hole version in S35VN. I'm going to do a comparison video to give you ideas of what I think about these knives in which version, because I have a flipper, a thumb stud, a thumb hole, and soon to have the crossbar lock. That's supposed to come tomorrow. That doesn't mean the video for this is coming tomorrow. So let's get into this knife review. Well, I'll go ahead and drop the news now. These are supposedly made either by Petrified Fish or Kunwu. Sorry about that. And I think that these ones with this little bridge are the later models, and I think Kunwu was the latter manufacturer. In other words, he went with Petrified Fish first. Now, I have no way of telling you that. I do remember somebody saying when they had a Kunwu, like maybe Neve said this one's a Kunwu. I think it had that sharpening choil there. But that's beside the point. As they're both seem to be really quality builds. And that's why I plan to do a video on these. What do I want to say? Of all of them together. And then that way you can compare the G10, you can compare kind of the blade grinds, and so on. So when I compare this blade grind, it is the same as on the flipper and or the thumb stud. It's a flat grind up to right about there, but they put the thumb hole in. They did add some jimping. Ooh. Let's see if we can see that. And it is very effective. The sharpening choils are different on this than my other two. Haven't got my fourth one yet. Slim, ergonomical. He did switch to a wire clip, and it does the same dumb thing where it wants to drag your material up, but luckily for me, I got a couple Spyderco wire clips. I'm going to see if they fit in here and give those a try. So having said that, I can live with this clip. It's not it doesn't build up the material as bad as his steel clips, and I'm looking for alternatives there. Now, you can see some what we'll call milling on the liners inside here. Let's see if you can see that little hole there. If it wasn't for this darn backspacer, which I'm actually happy to have, I can tell you it's just got some holes here, you know, about spaced out pretty evenly. And they're just kind of drilled. They're just holes. We do have reversible clip, and hopefully you can see this backspacer and with the lanyard tie on. T6 hardware there, T8 hardware here. We do have a free spinning. No, yeah. I'll have to open that up, take a peek. Maybe he switched to a D-shaped pivot. Okay, and the Asher logo. Oh, he put it on the pivot instead of on the blade there. So you guys can see that kind of almost like a wreath. It reminds me something of like the Caesars wore in Rome. All those leaves. Let's take a peek at the stop pin if we can. Okay, looks like that might be painted black. I do think these will break in nicely. The detent, very nice there. And very nice there. And if we can see the lock up there. Yep, it's a little bit early, which is funny because my last one's a little bit late. I'd rather have early than late. This will break in. I do think, yeah, it doesn't have any. I'm giving a pretty good reef there. So let's bring out some comparisons and a little bit of criticisms here. Well, the first one I got is the Bridgeport 395. They did a nice run of these. I think he did 600 in this version. That's 20 CV with micarta, the black or dark gray micarta, and this particular has a thumb stud, and he did 20C. All four versions he did 600, and one had natural micarta, and then they got rid of this thumb stud and put on two forms of carbon fiber, marble carbon fiber and camo, I want to say. And then anyways, let's do a little comparison. This is OEM by Kubi. This is milled liner, inset liners on this as well, and a titanium clip. And also, okay, so he has his own pivot on there. Excellent ergos. And it just seems to, I really like the way that this knife locks in right here. If you watch my other videos, I believe I'll talk a lot about that. How it just feels like you're gonna have 3 fingers on it and you got a solid grip, and then the rest of this just sort of hugs it in, and you got this little move up position. Does have a hollow ground blade, and we're gonna flip that out just for kind of some comparisons there. So, you know, I got my Bridgeport before I got this. Oh, what is this one? The Spiro. And so, well, not really and so, but I was considering the Spiro or the Bridgeport 395, and I kind of thought, well, they might be the same, you know, length. And they're actually not too far different, although I will say that the Spiro is on the side of it's just on this close to being too small for the perfect. It's actually excellent size, but it's just right there. I'm gonna give it a, I like about a 3.3, honestly. This is a 3.2 inch blade, and so I'm not exactly sure where this one falls in, but this is on the smaller side. So I still like it. It's lightweight. I'm gonna call it almost a semi-custom in that, just the way it's put together, it's definitely a step up from the other type of knives, and that you can see all this extra detail work that's been done. It's just finished at an extra level, and I don't think that this one has that. In fact, oh, you're getting some wind here. What I was going to say is it actually has very sharp edges on the inside here, and it's rather flat here. It's not chamfered really at all, and it doesn't bother you this way, but for $90, well, his other knives are knocked down. What I mean is the edges are knocked down at the same price, the other ones I have. So I would have liked to seen him do that. And that's something, if I take this apart or you do it yourself, take yours apart, I would recommend just hitting this. And if you can hit on the inside of this G10 on the inside of this liner, because what I have here sometimes is, all right, it's coming loose. Sometimes it doesn't want to drop like that. I'll push and see I'm pushing and it's just not clearing. So you gotta press it in, and I think what's holding it up is a G10 over there. Okay, moving on. I know we're getting long. This is the Devo Growler. And I'm bringing out the Devo Growler because I think it would just be fantastic if these two kind of combined. I really like how this belly drops down, but I like how this tip drops down. So what I mean is I'd like to see a blade with a bit of belly and then this long thing. So we could kind of just put and stretch this Devo out another 1/4 inch and give it more of this drop. I think then we would have very nice. I'll tell you, this is an excellent, this one broke in excellent. I bought this for 50 bucks because they were saying the detent wasn't great. Well, I can actually make it work. The Asher is better, but yeah, this is reliable for me. You got that move up. Interestingly enough, you can move up with this one. So we're gonna go ahead and close this out, and we'll do more of a big comparison with just the Asher knives. But for now, I think they're a really fantastic EDC, especially for the money in there. And I know a lot of my viewers don't want to spend 90 bucks on a knife, but you get lightweight, ergonomic, and I didn't even talk about the slicing ability, just the thinness of this blade stock. It's like 90 thousandths, so that's 0.9, and you know, we're less than 1/4 of an inch on that, probably less than 1/8 of an inch. Makes it a fantastic performer. All right, fellas, that's it for today.